The headlines: the post-nationwide mass drug administration survey records a huge drop of prevalence of scabies from around 23.2% to 3.9%. International Anti-Corruption Day marked in Honiara, and the cocoa industry has experienced a surge in export in 2025, with exports surpassing all-time record achieved in 2011. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Sharon Nanau. A nationwide health campaign has delivered a major public health victory by lowering scabies cases in the Solomon Islands from 23.2% to 3.9%. Alex Dadamu reports.
The post-nationwide mass drug administration survey reports a huge drop of the prevalence of scabies from around 23.2% to around 3.9%. The survey reports that the figure of 23.2% was recorded before the first mass drug administration campaign. This figure has now dropped to 3.9% following the latest drug administration in 2025. The Ministry of Health and Medical Services and its partners today marked the major milestone.
The Ministry is also aware that the baseline survey, as mentioned before, have identified that we had a 24% prevalence in our communities. Now you might think, 24%, it's a quarter of 100% there. But the issue now is in terms of what the 24% means to every other normal Solomon Islander, in terms of how it impacts the daily livelihood, how what's paid himself for commit to healthcare services, for travel, for taking healthcare services and so forth. Now, knowing that we are reducing it down to less than 4%, it shows that there's a great reduction of how people can actually now live their lives for a better health outcome, and as mentioned before, for a better economic outcome as well. Because I remember, and it's been mentioned by our minister as well, and other very senior leaders in the region, health is wealth, but wealth cannot be health. The point I have mentioned over there now is when we achieve good and proper and sustained health, we can achieve wealth as well. So once we improve in the health outcomes, but rightly mentioned as by Dr. Tristan, it can also lead to economic outcomes that he may like for achieving as well. Now, but this is not the end. The ministry is aware that the NTD program, within collaboration with the World Scabies program and MCRI and other partners, are working towards in the ministry for supporting the health system strengthening, which is in terms of building the program towards a more sustainable output for the long term.
Dr. Tristan Armstrong, representing the Australian High Commission, highlighted the significance of the achievement and says Australia is happy and proud to support the program.
The 2021 baseline survey had talent that Umigaram scabies prevalent of course up 24%. First MDMA happened in 2022, where MCRI funding with them some support from Aussie government, and reducing scabies go casting 19.9%. Building of this fella success, Australian government me bara proud and happy to us for investing a further calls up 15 million SBD law make two national mass drug administration events last year. And today, we lack for results extraordinary no more, below 4%. Yeah, that is just unbelievable. So, you must really appreciate the significance of this fellow day, and the power of this story for giving hope. Yeah, that time you may act with commitment and dedication, you may start achieving results that are hard for doing and complex. Scabies in one fellow got a so-called NTD, or neglected tropical disease, but this time of Solomon Islands, thank you to much the leadership, you fellow everyone, or got the disease here, Hemi no longer neglected, yeah, Hemi dealt with.
SIBC TV is aware that Solomon Islands is the first country in the world to complete 2 rounds of mass drug administration for scabies nationwide. Alex Dadamu for SIBC TV.
The Solomon Islands Independent Commission Against Corruption, SICAC, together with its stakeholders, joined the world in commemorating International Anti-Corruption Day today in Honiara, with the theme Uniting with Youth Against Corruption, Shaping Tomorrow's Integrity. The event highlights the crucial role of young people in the fight against corruption. In her remarks, SICAC Deputy Chair Ms. Flori Alalo emphasized the achievements made under the implementation of the National Anti-Corruption Strategy 2024 to 2027. She said the Commission has continued to strengthen efforts to promote integrity and accountability through the public engagement under the Anti-Corruption Act 2018 and the National Anti-Corruption Strategy.
Let me highlight a few of those achievements. Institutional strengthening of public institutions. The Anti-Corruption Act 2018 and the National Anti-Corruption Strategy provide SICAC direct engagement with public and private sectors to strengthen accountability and promote integrity through strengthening laws, policies, and regulations, as well as strengthening the internal processes and procedures. SICAC has started to roll out these roles as of fourth quarter of this year, 2025, through rolling out the Corruption Risk Assessment and Management, short form CRAM.
She added that they are currently working to strengthen the Anti-Corruption Act 2018 to address some of the weaknesses SICAC has faced over the years.
The other important area where SICAC is working on is to strengthen the Anti-Corruption Act 2018 through review of the Act to address some of the weaknesses. For example, this year, we don't have a Director General for the last 7 months. The position is vacant. And under the Act, the cases we have received this year cannot proceed forward unless the Director General is there to direct it. So we need a review. We need to add further sections under the Act to ensure in the absence of the Director General, work can continue.
She therefore called on all citizens to join SICAC in the fight against corruption in the country.
Ladies and gentlemen, corruption is not merely a legal issue. It is a moral challenge that threatens our future. Today, as we unite under the banner of Uniting with Youth Against Corruption, Shaping Tomorrow's Integrity, let us remember that integrity is the foundation upon which we build trust, prosperity, and peace. I call upon every citizen, young and old, leaders and communities, to join SICAC and every integrity institutions and civil societies in this journey.
Now, the cocoa export industry has set a new benchmark in 2025, surpassing the country's previous all-time record set in 2011. Andrea Mahanua reports.
The Solomon Islands cocoa export industry has experienced a surge in 2025, with exports surpassing the all-time record achieved in 2011. Minister of Agriculture and Livestock, Franklin Derek Wasi, announced this in Parliament recently.
This year we reached a new historic high for cocoa exports, surpassing the old record achieved in 2011. Last year, the cocoa export was 5,100 metric tons, while January to October this year, we have already exported 6,500 metric tons. This is 1,400 metric tons more than the total export of last year. And we have yet to collect the data for this month of November and December. We are therefore likely to reach 7,000 metric tons of cocoa for all of this year, which will put us on a stronger base to build on for next year.
The country's copra exports have also seen a steady rise, with a total of 12,400 metric tons exported from January to October this year. Wasi emphasized this is 4,000 metric tons more than the total exports in 2024.
These incredible achievements in the increase in both copra and cocoa exports are attributed to all our hardworking farmers in the rural areas and stakeholders in the private sector who are involved in the market value chain, and we must commend them. And I sincerely thank our rural farmers for growing our commodity exports despite the many challenges they face. Based on these achievements for this year, the ministry is targeting 9,000 metric tons of cocoa and 22,000 metric tons of copra exports for next year, 2026.
Andrea Mahanwa for SIBC TV.
Now, the Western Provincial Government has once again urged the national government to take decisive action on outstanding governance concerns, stressing the need for progress on devolution of powers and a fair revenue sharing scheme. Alex Dedamo reports.
The Western Provincial Government is reiterating their call for the national government to seriously consider a Premier's submission on issues relating to devolution of powers, revenue sharing scheme and other important issues. The call was made as the Ministry of Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening on July reviewed the Provincial Government Act 1997, a review that does not cover certain important areas. Western Province Deputy Premier Honorable Brian Lotikena calls on the government to establish a task force to look into the issue.
The Western Provincial Government is pleased that the Ministry of Provincial Government facilitate the PGA 1997 review in July this year. All provincial governments are, however, disappointed, and the key issues like devolution of powers, revenue sharing scheme, and other important considerations were not covered. Our intentions are quite clear, as the content in the Premier's submission to the Ministry of Provincial Government and the Cabinet after the July review. It is our call that the Ministry of Provincial Government and Institutional Strengthening and the Cabinet take seriously our submission and set up the task force, a committee that will primarily look at the submission work on the revised bill no later than 2026. Key consideration could include devolution of relevant functions and powers as well as the revenue sharing scheme. We see this as an important step towards our ultimate goal of attaining statehood in the not too distant future.
Honorable Lotikena in the meantime acknowledged the ministry for supporting the Western Provincial Assembly in carrying out a recent ward profile validation exercise.
The Western Province Government has recently concluded its ward profile validation exercise, and we thank the Ministry of Provincial Government and the Institutional Strengthening as well as the IDA for facilitating the exercise. One thing is clear from the exercise: it reflects the truly bottom-up approach, where Western Provincial Government, through its planning division to touch base on our rural population and identifies and agree on the development and services needs.
Alex Dedamo for SIBC TV.
As technology and social media use rapidly expands across the country, growing public concern over negative cyber-related incidents has prompted renewed government assurance on digital safety. Andrea Mahanwa reports.
As more Solomon Islanders gain access to technology and social media platforms, public concerns over the rise in negative cyber-related incidents continue to grow. The Ministry of Aviation and Communication says it is committed to safeguarding Solomon Islanders on digital platforms. Minister Frederick Cologetto made the reaffirmation in Parliament recently.
As the era of digital communication, Mr. Speaker, as the era of digital transformation looms and gets exponential momentum, my ministry is finding it very difficult to make sure that we safeguard citizens below me. And on that note, Mr. Speaker, I can assure this House that the Permanent Secretary with the executive officers along the ministry are working hard for cybercrime, cybersecurity, the digital transformation roadmap, so that we safeguard people below me along this fellow nation.
Cologetto assured that the digital transformation roadmap is expected to be tabled before Parliament soon.
The digital transformation roadmap should be finalized soon and should be tabled for Cabinet for blessing, so that we sabi where na imi heading and make sure imi safe along what imi doing. As well as the cybersecurity, cybercrime policy, it's on the drafting stages. Hopefully become the table next 2026.
The digital transformation roadmap focuses on building an inclusive digital economy through multi-sector strategies led by the SIG ICTS Digital Strategy 2026 to 2030. Andrea Maahanwa for SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on SIBC Online, our SIBC News YouTube channel, and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.